Right, so lockdown is almost done. We are in a sort of 4-step plan. So it means that we can potentially start going out to take some more photographs very, very soon, which I am happy with. But we are back today with another tutorial where I'm going to show you how to make some fantastic oil paintings out of your photographs using just one tool in Photoshop. So stick around. What's up everybody, welcome back to another video here at Benham Media. My name is Nathan and it's an absolute pleasure to see all of you here today. Now I use the hashtag over on Instagram, BMPix2020, and I would love it if you would start using the hashtag. That way I will start shouting you guys out on this channel, and I'm going to start dedicating videos to the hashtag where I will show your work off. So please give it a crack, and if you are in fact going to use any of the methods that I use in any of my videos, it would be so cool for you to use the hashtag. Then that way I can see them and then I can give you guys a bit of a shout out and sort of like talk over your work. But in this video, we are back into the tutorial setting. We've got the sort of like the desk set up and the laptop and all ready to go. And I've learned something new during lockdown. I have learned a fantastic way of turning your photographs into sort of like oil painting type of sort of artwork. Because quite frankly, I've not been able to go out and take as many photographs as I like. So I've learned new skills throughout this lockdown, which I know a lot of you have, and a lot of you are still looking to learn new skills within Photoshop and Lightroom and everything else like that. So I thought, now that I've learned it, I'm going to show you. So what am I going to show you? Quite simply, it is that. I'm going to show you how to turn your photographs into sort of like oil paintings. Now, I know this isn't something new, this isn't something that it's just literally hit the market and everyone's going, oh my God, we've got to start doing this. But the way that a lot of Photoshop artists, masters, creators do, you know, they use filters and then they use sort of different files, and you've got to do this and you've got to play with that and everything like that. And as much as they look sensational, and they really, really, really do, there's a lot of fiddling going on within Photoshop that you have to do. And I've recently discovered a way of doing the exact same effect, but only using one tool inside Photoshop. And that tool is the Smudge Tool. That's it, that's all you're gonna use. And if you just follow these simple instructions, you can start turning your photographs into sort of oil paintings, you know, a little bit like this. Now it is very easy to do, it is quite simple, yet at times it can be a bit fiddly, and depending on how well your hand is, it might just be a little bit sort of time consuming. And depending on the type of Photoshop you have, if you haven't updated it, sometimes you can't get the right files in this area, so you don't get the exact outcome that other YouTube sort of tutorials have helped you out with. This one, everyone has a Smudge Tool. It is so much easier, and the guidelines are very, very simple. It's about following the lines. So let's not beat around the bush. Let's get straight into Photoshop and I will show you what I'm talking about. So here we go. This is the photograph that we are going to use. This is a photograph of me. It's coming from my archives. As you see, I've done a simple square 1x1 because, you know, I do plan to show this on Instagram, and this particular photograph was shown on Instagram as well. So that is my sort of thought process behind the cropping itself. And we are simply just going to use the Smudge Tool. It's the little finger and the hand just down here, and you want to come up to your brush and you want to have a look at it being a soft round brush as well. So that's what you got to do. Hardness down to 0 and probably size around about 150. But you will be changing the sizes as you go along. Now, a lot of this is quite simply following lines. So a lot of the background is going to be a lot simpler, but when you get down to the face and the hair, it's when it gets a little bit more fiddly and a little bit more time consuming, but you'll find a way around it. Trust me, it is quite simple. So the first thing to do is that we are going to duplicate your background layer by right clicking, go up to duplicate layer, and like that. Now you can name it, but I'm not going to do that in this process. So that way we've got a layer at the top, and then we've got our original layer at the bottom, you know, just in case we need to sort of restart at any point. And to begin with, we're going to start with the background and the window just here of me staring out the window. And quite simply, you just want to sort of click and drag. So what that ended up doing is that you are smudging the photograph just like this. And you want to follow the lines, because if you go away from the lines, you will see that you start making sort of like an abnormal type of look. So you don't really want that. You want to follow the lines. Now the background, you're not really that interested in making sure it's perfect, because remember as well, you are doing a paint type effect. And because you're using your hands when you're painting, they're not always sort of very accurate, so you can have a little bit of that. And something that I've also found as well is that if you go back on yourself and you do a nice little zigzag type thing, you get more of a smudge out of it as well. So we're going to quickly wash with the background and just follow this line, nice and simple. So already you're getting that sort of like a little effect that it is in fact a painting like that. There we go. Just going to keep doing the background, following like this, and we're just going to follow the lines of the wall and not really do much more with it. So I'm just going to concentrate on the background first, and then we'll get to the actual face in a minute, okay? And as you can see, I'm using quite a nice large brush at the moment, and we will be swapping it around a little bit as well. Now, of course, if you do make a mistake at any point, by example, if you do it so much like, oh, that looks terrible, don't panic, just hit Control Z and it takes you back a step. So you don't need to worry about maybe making a mistake. And quite frankly, it is trial and error. This whole thing is trial and error. So simple, so easy. So straight away, there we go. Look, we've now done the background. And if you click your copy layer on and off, you'll see straight away you've got that nice sort of like painty sort of effect almost immediately. But this is where the complicated bit comes into, but again, it's not that complicated as long as you follow these little guidelines and you're following the lines of the face or whatever subject you are in fact using. So we're going to zoom in by going Control Plus, and we're going to start off with the hair, and we're just going to do bit by bit. Now my brush is too big for this, so we hit the bracket key, we come down a little bit, and we just want to go with the direction of the hair itself. Nothing too strenuous, you don't want to do big strokes. Remember, if you are in fact painting, you only do like little bits at a time. But there we go, you see straight away, you can see that there's just that little bit of smudging going on, and it looks like they're paint strokes like that. There we go. And again, you want to do zigzags as well, so don't go in one direction completely, because if you go in one direction, it looks a little bit off. So every now and then, come back on yourself and just do it again, like that. So we're just going to finish off doing the hair and the hairline, like this, scoot across. And when you get to sort of the darker areas where you don't really have that much detail, don't worry about it too much, just do some nice random sort of little smudges around. But when you get to the greys, because I'm getting to that age now where I've got a few grey hairs coming through, you want that sort of detail to come out a little bit, and then you can just sort of smudge away a little bit like that, and come back round. And that's the hair. Let's go Control 0 to get back to full frame. Again, look at it before and after, and you can just see that already you're getting sort of the brush strokes type of look. Let's zoom in again, and we'll start doing with the foreheads. And again, we're just going to follow the line. So at any point, you can change the size of your brush if you feel like. We're going to go across the line to my forehead. Again, we're just going to do a nice little zigzag motion, small little incisions, nothing too massive, because you want to make it look like as well that you're using different colors from your palette when you are in fact painting as well. So you'll sort of like smudge them in a little bit. And I'm going to bring my brush down a little bit, because these little lines in my brow are pretty cool, like that. There we go. I might bring that in a little bit so we don't look like I've got like a wild eyebrow. And just follow the lines of your face and the different shadings around a little bit like that. Go in a different direction, like that nice little zigzag motion that I was telling you about, like that as well, because quite often painters do this when they paint as well. So scoot across. Let's bring the brush up a little bit now, because we've got a bit of a wider space to use. I'm just going to use the lines on my side of my head, the natural curves of my face. Again, when you're doing the ear, you want to follow the lines of your ear. And again, if you do anything seriously drastic, like making it look like you've got a bit of an elf ear, of course, all you can do is press Control Z, and you're going back with it again, you see. So we're just doing this, just making it smudge, making it look like you're literally just painting away. And you're just naturally following the lines of the hair, your face. It's the wonderful thing about faces. Like when I was doing the Big Ben, for example, so there's a lot more lines going on, a lot more sort of really finer details. So it took me a little bit longer to do the Big Ben photograph. But when I was doing my face and Phoenix's face, it sort of just became a little bit easier. And you don't want to be sort of too harsh on yourself. Because again, it's trial and error, it really is. Like, it took me a few goes to make it look half decent. And when you're zoomed in like this, it might not look like it's looking good, but once you zoom out by Control 0, you can just sort of see around this area here that it just looks that little bit better. Look, see, so don't be too harsh on yourself. Just form the lines on my lips, where my moustache goes, down side of my face, like that. I'll do the final bit of my chin. Pay attention to the shadows as well. And there we go, we'll zoom out. And look, you see you've got that nice little sort of like brush strokes going on around this way. Now when we're going to look at the eyebrows, again, we are following the lines. Like, it is that simple, like you're just following the lines of the eyebrows. Again, do a nice little zigzag motion, so you're not sort of like having it all going in one direction. Same as around the eyes. Bring your brush down a little bit, bring the eyelids around, pass my nose around that way. Follow right down the bridge of my nose, all the way down. Brush a little bit bigger maybe, you've got a bit more of a working space. Around the nose, the dark bit. If you've done it too much, you can zigzag, go back on yourself. Try and get the natural shadows and natural shading in, just like you would do in a painting. You're trying to mix them together a little bit. Now, as you see, I am actually rushing this quite, even though I am speeding up the video a little bit, I am rushing just a tad, but of course, take as much time as you want. But I'm just sort of demonstrating as well, like it doesn't need to be that difficult. Now, when it comes to the eyes, zoom a little bit further as you can, and you want to get your brush as small as you can, and then you just want to sort of follow the direction of the eyes a little bit. And you might not see that as much difference, but when we look at the before and after, you'll see that there's a huge, great big difference coming in. See, I made a mistake. Control Z, fast on myself, and I'm just gonna do it like that. Same with the other eye. Following the circle of the eye like that. Zoom back out. Look at that, you see, already it's looking like it's, and we look at the before and after, it's just sort of the difference. It looks like you've got the brush strokes going in. And we'll just finish off with the nose. Again, just follow the contours of your nose, your nostril, figure, and we're doing the same with the lips. So first, follow the lines of the mouth, and then the lips, maybe parting it a little bit, and then we're gonna go with the clothes. So the clothes, again, it's nice and simple. Follow the lines of your clothes, nice little zigzag motion as well, like you're just splashing the paint on. But because you've got these like little finer little lines in the clothing, it looks like that you're paid really close detail in the sort of like the texture as well. So let's just go across again, using nice little zigzag motions. And I know I'm repeating myself, but I just want to sort of let you know that it's simple, it's so easy, and we've not used one filter. We've not used any filters, any sort of like camera raw filters or anything like that. We've not had to layer it on top of each other and layer upon layer, which is zigzagging the cross like you're using a paintbrush, which is pretty much what you're doing. You're using the smudge tool as a paintbrush, pretty much. Just around the shirt and the button. Famous, favorite cardigan. So I do like a cardigan. Down to the shirts. Brush a bit bigger here because it's a bit more of a, well, almost done. A little bit of the neck. Zoom out a bit. Again, I'm also just following the light as well, because it's obviously, again, with the light when you're painting, especially if you're painting a subject, you know, you'll try to mix in those shadows a little bit as well. And as long as you just follow the lines, you can't really mess up with this. Like, it's not something like you go, oh God, this looks terrible or anything like that. But you really can't just sort of like make such a big mistake that you're gonna have to start again. Like I said, if you do make a small mistake, just hit Control Z and you're all back to it again. A bit more like this, down the collar, making it look like that I'm trying to blend the shadows. And there we go, Control 0, and that is it there. Like, and if you take a look at it before and after, so if we unlink that and have a look at that, see, that's the photograph, and then that's your lovely oil painting. And of course you can just go in a little bit and have a bit of a, neat it up a little bit when it's a bit bigger like this. Try to bring this stubble back up my cheek a little bit, across the moustache. Might want to bring a bit more darkness down here because I have a bit of grey in my beard, a bit dark around that way. And there we go, boom, just like that. And it's as simple as just following the lines again. I know I've said it quite a fair bit and I've asked to sort of like just carry it along, but that was just a one tool. It was just a smudge tool, went in there and I just followed the contours of my face and the shadows, and you've come up with a complete different sort of type of style within your same photograph. And it's a really good contrast between the before and after. And yeah, it just saves you a lot of time having to worry about the filters and anything like that. But I implore you to try it yourself. Please do try it yourself. And if you do, in fact, try this technique, please use the hashtag BMPix2020 over on Instagram so I can have a look and I can comment and I can like and I can share it as well. I'll be more than happy to do that, because remember, that's how the algorithm works within Instagram. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you've liked it. That has literally just taken me the best part of 17 minutes. That's how long the screen record was going on for. And right, that's it done. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the next video. Until next time, I've been Nathan. You've been sensational. And goodbye. Mwah, 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 mwah.